There are people in this world where you would never want to get on the wrong side. They might look like they are friendly and calm, but don't let that fool you. Some of these people have spent their entire lives working to become the biggest, the strongest, or the most skilled people in the world. Are you ready to get to know these incredible people? Let's get started. Diamond Ott. There are more than 1.3 million men and women enlisted in the United States military, each trained to stay at peak physical and mental performance year-round. First Sergeant Diamond Ott is known as the strongest soldier in the United States. If you look at his insane and creative workouts, you might think that Diamond has muscles as hard as stone. Many people can't even manage to do a pull-up, but Ott performs spinning acrobatic pull-ups with ease. He can also hold huge plates up with nothing but his core. He can even do dips with 245 pounds, or more than his own body weight strapped to his waist. And that's not even his personal record. That's just a regular part of his everyday routine. Add on to that wild level of strength and coordination with his decade and a half of tactical military training. This guy can take down any opponent he comes across in a few hundred different ways. After 16 years of service, Diamond has no intention of slowing down and continues pushing his mental and physical limits in service of his country, and maybe just a little bit for his Instagram followers. Thomas Wu. Thomas Wu seems to have hit the jackpot on talent. He is 21 years old, and Wu is known to many as the fastest puncher in the world after he created a nearly impossible to replicate online trend called the floating ball challenge. This challenge involves punching a ball fast enough to keep it spinning in midair. Not just the speed of Thomas's fists, but their precision and control show that he was born for the sport. He says he actually got into the sport by accident when looking for a way to gain some hip mobility to help with his baseball career. 8 years of training later, and he's worlds ahead of athletes that have been training twice as long. Wu has 4 national championships to his name. Thomas said his current goal is to head to the Olympics and be crowned the best boxer in the world. Vito Pierbazzari. With his ironclad, muscular, deep-set expressions and truly intimidating demeanor, German bodybuilder and actor Vito Pierbazzari certainly cuts an imposing figure. And I suppose that's why he was cast for his fearsome role in Dogs of Berlin. If you're tricked by that though, that just means he's very good at his job. Vito is actually one of the nicest guys around. The German giant dedicates himself to showing off his workout and diet routines, both incredibly important ingredients for maintaining his trademark tough guy look. Sergei Korolnikov. Sergei Korolnikov creates creative and insane viral videos. I'll never understand how he creates them, but I'm very glad that he did, because there are some of the craziest things I've ever seen online. Just to name a few of the seemingly impossible feats of raw strength and power he's shown off, Sergei has pulled a 180-ton train with his body alone, ripped through iron chains and padlocks just by flexing his muscles, kept not 1, but 2 planes from taking off with just his arms. Whether or not he'll ever find something he can't do is yet to be determined. But the Kazakhstan phenomenon has certainly proven that he's pretty much the closest thing we've ever seen to a real-life Superman. Sergei also has at least 4 world records under his belt, which he claims he only started breaking ironically. Anyone who sets world strength records as a joke is probably someone you should go far out of your way to never upset. Karim Daegu. A martial arts master usually will be able to defeat opponents with their hands or their feet, or even their elbows, but Karim Daegu could take any of his opponents with nothing more than his shins. While most people's shins are little more than a very painful spot to bump into obstacles with, somehow Karim is tough enough to actually fight with these vital weak spots. He's so skilled with his shins, in fact, that he actually holds a very unique world record. Karim uses his shins to break baseball bats. In his crazy run for a Guinness ranking, he managed to break numerous baseball bats using only his shins in 1 minute, averaging more than 1 bat a second. Karim's years of martial arts training and probably a dash of insanity keeps him from feeling anything but exhilaration as he earns a very unique spot in history. Islam Badurgov. If you've ever been lucky enough to take a photo with the UFC's notorious Conor McGregor, then I might have some bad news for you. The person in your photo, while he might have the same tattoos, build, and hair color may actually have been professional McGregor impersonator Islam Badurgov. Not just anyone can impersonate one of the best and most skilled fighters on the planet and get away with it. In order to be able to pull off his pranks, Islam really does have to train incredibly hard to have a body that someone would mistake for the Irish champions. He spends most of his time doing street workouts, and he's at the point where he makes absurdly hard tricks like muscle-ups and flagpoles look easy. He is not a guy you want to mess with. Evgeny Los. When you see someone with a physique that's insane, it should be obvious that you wouldn't want to make them mad. But just in case you're feeling unsure, just watch how hard Evgeny Los can swing a hammer. If that tire were your head, you'd be having a headache or worse. You can probably imagine what could happen. Thankfully though, the Belarusian behemoth is much more likely to be saving your life than threatening it. Evgeny works as a firefighter in Belarus and dedicates himself to working out and achieving a peak physique, as well as pursuing feats that literally nobody else on Earth can complete. Evgeny holds the world record for most weighted push-ups on uneven bars performed in 1 minute, pulling off, or should I say pushing up, an unbelievable 53 weighted push-ups in just 60 seconds, absolutely obliterating the previous record of 40. Watching him work out though, this was probably just another day in the park for Evgeny, and he claims he's itching to pursue more calisthenic records in the near future. Samuel Eriksson. Born in South Korea, Samuel Eriksson found a connection to his heritage in practicing Taekwondo at just 7 years old. He quickly found out he had a thing for martial arts, and began to pursue more and more styles, eventually training as an MMA fighter. Not everything was sunshine and rainbows for Samuel though, as he struggled through many personal and health-related issues in his teenage years, which ended up with him waking up in a hospital room after a particularly nasty street fight saw him knocked unconscious. It was that moment that Samuel dedicated himself to change his life. He dedicated the next year of his life to get better. MMA was like therapy for him, and as he started posting his videos online, people quickly took notice of his insane martial arts skills, and his follower count began to grow. His workouts are inspiring people all over the world. He trains harder and harder and said he found his purpose in the gym. Today, he's a signed fighter in the UFC, and his unrelenting quickness and power are very plain to see in his training videos. Masaki Ikemiyagi. Karate is an ancient art meant to focus on discipline and self-defense and is never supposed to be used as a weapon. Ikemiyagi has been practicing karate since he was a boy, when he was deemed worthy to be trained by the disciple of the founder of his style. In case you're wondering what might have made him stand out so much, take a look at what this martial arts master can do to 7.5 centimeters of solid hardwood with a single punch. That's what's known as the deadliest punch in the world, a technique honed through a lifetime of intense dedication. It's often said that Ikemiyagi can shatter bones with a single blow, and he likely wouldn't have to try very hard to do it, as sometimes the master doesn't even know his own strength. If you were placed up against this legendary karate practitioner in a fight, just imagine what he could do if he were serious. Thankfully, Ikemiyagi is a peaceful man, more interested in helping others through his international series of dojos than hurting them, and he's actually never been in a fight outside of a dojo or competition in his life. But that's likely because everyone on Earth knows never to mess with the man with the deadliest punch on the planet. Do you think you can beat anyone on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.